NBA Finals 2018 Live, Cavs vs Warriors Game 3 updates. LeBron James is well on his way to a triple-double, with 14 points, 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Stephen Curry has struggled from the field and only has 2 points. Refresh here for live updates and analysis from the NBA Finals Game 3 in Cleveland. How to watch. ABC has the broadcast at 9 p.m., but you can stream Game 3 here. Second quarter, LeBron James shakes off injury. LeBron James turned his right ankle slightly on an offensive play and was unable to head back on defense, but he did not come out of the game. A few moments later he was backing toward the basket with the ball and helped set up J.R. Smith for a huge three-pointer. It was the type of sequence you wouldn't expect to see from any player other than James, who seems almost impervious to the effects of injury. On Cleveland's next possession, James threaded his way to the hoop right past the rookie Jordan Bell, scoring easily, and forcing Steve Kerr to burn another timeout. James is now up to a game-high 14 points, clearly having taken the reins back from an offense that was doing well, but not well enough to create much separation from the Warriors. Mark Stein, Shaun Livingston made his first 11 shots in these NBA Finals. Even more surprising, it was a blocked shot from the scarcely used Rodney Hood that ended Livingston's unblemished run. Second quarter, LeBron James starts to assert himself. LeBron James deferred to his teammates in the first quarter, but early in the second, with the lead slipping away, he showed some aggressiveness in getting to the basket, and even when he missed the shot, he got his own offensive rebound and put the ball in for 2 points. Cleveland got a long two-pointer from Rodney Hood, and a layup by James to put the lead back up to 7 points when Steve Kerr had seen enough and took another timeout. The roles thus far are essentially reversed of where they had been in the 2 games in Oakland, with the Warriors constantly playing catch-up. And Stephen Curry isn't helping so far, with as many fouls, too, as he has points. End of first quarter, Warriors battle back. We knew the rest of the Cavaliers roster would contribute more with the game in Cleveland, but the fact that the team got off to such a strong start while LeBron James had just 6 points in the first quarter was somewhat stunning. Cleveland looked like they might run up a huge lead, especially with the Warriors not getting their first three-pointer until there were less than 2 minutes left in the period, but consecutive three-pointers by Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant got Golden State back into it. The game was actually tied with 10 seconds left in the quarter when Jeff Green connected from three-point range to give his team a brief 29-26 lead, which was brought back to 29-28 after a pair of free throws from Durant with 1 second left. The Cavaliers are undoubtedly happy to be ahead, but it still seems like a wasted opportunity that they were not able to capitalize more on Golden State's slow start. Mark Stein, the Warriors missed their first 6 three-pointers, Draymond Green teetered on the edge of an early ejection, and Golden State trails by a whopping 1 point. After a quarter, nerves are suddenly tangible along with the noise at the cue. First quarter, Draymond Green, Tristan Thompson get early technicals. Draymond Green and Tristan Thompson each received technical fouls after an argument, which will leave them little room for error as the game progresses, as another technical would result in their ejection. For Green, who is known to argue with referees all game, the decision could certainly alter his approach. Coach Tyronn Lue called a timeout with 3:38 remaining in the quarter, and despite Golden State having somewhat recovered from an atrocious start on offense, they still are trailing the red-hot Cavaliers by 8 points. Mark Stein, Green racked up only 3 technical fouls in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs. But with 2 in this series already, he's suddenly just 2 more technicals away from a 1-game suspension. First quarter, Stephen Curry has 2 fouls. Kevin Durant sank a mid-range jumper to end Golden State's cold streak on offense, and after a turnover, Draymond Green finished a fast break all by himself with a dunk. They seemed to be riding the ship a bit when Stephen Curry was whistled for his 2nd foul of the game. He is staying in the game so far. Even Andre Iguodala checking into the game midway through the quarter didn't seem to yield immediate results, as the wing was immediately hit with a foul call. Mark Stein: maybe we have to stop saying that LeBron James has no help. The crowd here at the Q is clearly sick of all the sweep talk and making some quality noise. The Warriors have won 4 finals games here over the years, but they never enjoy visits to this building. Draymond Green in particular is already on the edge. First quarter, a near-perfect start for Cavs. Cleveland is showing far more effort in the early minutes of the game, with Steve Kerr calling a timeout with 7:57 remaining in the first quarter to try to settle his team down. The Cavs are fighting for offensive rebounds, playing aggressive defense, making the shots the Warriors give them and benefiting from Golden State's shots not falling yet. Beyond JaVale McGee having a terrific dunk and a solid block attempt of a shot attempt by Tristan Thompson, there is little good on the Warriors' side to cite so far. First quarter, LeBron alley-oops himself. With early 3-pointers by both Kevin Love and J.R. Smith, the Cavaliers seemed to be showing early that they were planning on getting more of LeBron James's teammates involved. In all, the first 10 Cleveland points came from players other than James, with the streak finally broken when James threw an alley-oop to himself off the backboard to give the Cavaliers an early 12-4 lead. It is hard to imagine a better start for the Cleveland defense. Mark Stein: in the second half of Cleveland's Game 4 out in the 2017 NBA Finals, LeBron James flung the ball off the backboard underhanded from behind the free throw line and dunked home the ball off the glass. In Wednesday night's must-win Game 3 of the 2018 NBA Finals, attacking the other basket, LeBron did it again. Ridiculous. First quarter, Kevin Love starts with a 3-pointer. Tristan Thompson won the tip for Cleveland and Kevin Love immediately hit an open 3-pointer, and Game 3 of the Finals is underway. Game 3 starting lineups. The starting lineups for Game 3 are the same as they were for Game 2, with Andre Iguodala coming off the bench for Golden State. Warriors: Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, JaVale McGee. Cavaliers: George Hill, J.R. Smith, LeBron James, Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson. Top storylines for Game 3. LeBron James's 80 combined points in the first 2 games of the series have made him an incredible one-man show for the Cavaliers. Kobe Bryant isn't so convinced that James does not have enough to work with. In a Q&A with The Times, Bryant said, "I don't understand how, in order to talk about how great LeBron is, we need to, expletive, on everybody else. That's not okay. Those guys have talent. I don't buy this whole thing that he's playing with a bunch of garbage." While Coach Steve Kerr of the Warriors is known for the occasional one-liner, Coach Tyronn Lue delivered a great one in his pre-game news conference. When asked who would be a key player for the Cavaliers tonight, Lue responded, "LeBron James, I guess." James and Curry may be huge rivals on the court, but off it they seem to have formed an alliance in terms of how they will deal with President Trump. On Tuesday they both talked about how there will be no need for the president to invite either team to the White House after the finals are over. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver was asked about the players' stance during the ABC broadcast of the game, and he supported the players even if he lamented them being forced into such a situation. "My reaction is sadness, frankly," Silver said. "A bit of resignation. But I don't think it should take away from the fact that these players in our league and our coaches are speaking out on issues that are important to them and important to society." There are reports that the Warriors will be bolstered tonight by the return of Andre Iguodala. The versatile bench player who had moved to the starting lineup earlier in the playoffs, is a vital cog for the team's offensive rhythm and for its defensive strategy. The question now is if the bone bruise in his left knee is sufficiently healed for him to be effective in a defensive assignment against James. Golden State's Stephen Curry has not quite kept pace with James in terms of overall production, but with averages of 31 points, 8.5 assists and 6.5 rebounds a game so far in the finals, momentum is building for him to potentially win his first Finals MVP award should the Warriors capture their second consecutive title. Curry has downplayed his interest in the award, but his fourth-quarter explosion in Game 2 following an altercation with Cleveland's Kendrick Perkins showed a competitive fire that is rarely on public display from Curry. With the series moving to Cleveland, the question now is if he can continue to succeed without the benefit of his home court. The game officials have been the subject of some intense debates during the playoffs, and they will be engaging directly with fans during the game via the National Basketball Referees Association's official Twitter account. A team of referees will be answering questions and weighing in on calls during the game. The Warriors are hoping to get the injured Andre Iguodala back either for tonight or for Friday's Game 4. The versatile bench player, who had moved to the starting lineup earlier in the playoffs, is a vital cog for the team's offensive rhythm and for its defensive strategy. If the bone bruise in his knee is sufficiently healed, it could allow Golden State to put him on James in hopes that he can slow the superstar down just enough to lessen Cleveland's chances of an upset. For now, Kerr is describing Iguodala as likely to play. Things have yet to quiet down for J.R. Smith following his enormous gaffe at the end of regulation of Game 1, with the moment still being picked apart. Smith did not exactly atone for the poor decision with stellar play in Game 2, but the streaky shooter is always a threat to go off at home, and spacing the court some for James with a big night from three-point range by Smith would go a long way to evening the odds. If things weren't awkward enough between the Cavaliers and Isaiah Thomas, their former guard went on Jimmy Kimmel Live on Monday to participate in a parody of a game show called Generation Gap, NBA edition against the Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas. As part of the skit, he announced, "I'm like the Cavs, I'm going to get swept. Swept."